王になる男だ。
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track, Neville Rack bring it back, and we are back with Trash Sit Down episode 162. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I am here with the gang as usual, the whole sit down in the building, you feel me? That boy Mr. G in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, what's good? I am not used to being second. I'm not gonna lie. I always expect you to go to mod first.
Yeah, the new layout, man.
Damn. Yo, shout out to all the. Oh, we had a big May birthday. Like all the birthday celebrants yesterday at my wife's family. So that was cool. And shout out to the One Piece live action because they revealed Chopper yesterday and also revealed that we're getting season 2 in 2026. But we'll talk about that after we introduce everyone. So just shout out to you guys because that was awesome.
All right. Much love to the One Piece live action crew and all that for sure. Mod in the building. That boy Straw Hat Mod. What's going on, my brother? Yo, I gotta tell you, bro. I love the bonnet look, bro. I've been meaning to say it for like the past like dozen episodes, bro. But I'm jacking it, bro. I'm jacking it.
Hey, thank you. Nothing much. It's been a good week for anime in general. Like, One Piece chapter, Hunter x Hunter Net Impact demo came out, so that's been fire. Like Mr. said, Netflix reveal, it's just been nice. So I'm over here enjoying eating it all up, and yeah, I can't wait to talk about this chapter, man.
Definitely been a good week for One Piece. For One Piece for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, last but not least, that boy huss in the building. What is going on, my brother?
What's going on, man? This is technically my weekend. This is like the beginning of my weekend because I started a new job recently doing full-time security.
Nice.
Nice.
So I was in hell waking up at 5 last few weeks, but I'm so excited to get a good night's sleep. Come talk about One Piece. You guys don't know how much I appreciate every fucking Sunday just talking about it. And this chapter was so crazy.
Dude.
I was like in my room just aghast. Like, so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about, the chopper stuff, man. So yeah, I'm about to get into it.
Yeah, so I guess real quick before the chapter, we did finally get the reveal announcement of season 2 for the One Piece live action. And with that comes the announcement of Tony Chopper. I'm not gonna play the whole trailer.
They're about to cook us.
Yeah, because I don't want to cook us, but I do want to get like just a nice little screen cap of that boy. Yeah, Tony Chopper in the flesh.
Yes, sir.
What are we thinking? I honestly think the internet went crazy for no reason. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think
people were hating. Is that was the?
I saw a lot of hate over the past day or two.
I saw more good than hate.
Me too.
But,
really?
Yeah. I actually like it. I mean, it looks like Paddington, like that type of technology. I don't know if you guys seen those movies. Those are fantastic movies, by the way.
Yeah.
Really good movies. But and like even like on the level of Stitch, 'cause I recently watched the Lilo and Stitch live action movie, and it looks really well done. So I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna nitpick.
I think it depends on where you go on the internet to see the reactions. Like, I looked at the YouTube comments for this announcement, and most people were okay with it. I mean, you had some people that were like, I don't like this, or saying like it's trash or something, but most people on the Netflix YouTube, they like it, or they're relieved because it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, we've seen some disastrous ones. So.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is
Sonic
nothing
2019.
And that's what I'm seeing. A lot of people on. I guess I'm on the hater side of the internet. A lot of people that I'm seeing. A lot of people that I'm seeing are comparing this to the original Sonic design, and I'm like, this is nowhere near as bad as that shit was. That shit was an atrocity.
They bugging. That's wild.
Yeah, people just.
You know why they say that? They I think because they see like you said, Mister, this is like Paddington, like CGI animation or whatever. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I think people forgot what that's looked like since the last time they probably saw that was like Detective Pikachu, maybe.
Yeah, but also remember, people got to realize that movie budget is different from show budget. Like that's just like it's just a thing. Even I was just using Paddington and also Stitch as an example, but even then, that's not a great example because those are movie budget characters that have the technology and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm glad Oda like, because it could have been worse, right? But Oda made sure, like, they did a lot of redesigns and made sure that, you know, for him, that this was the best one that they made. So
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, I'm definitely not
Yeah.
mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Guess we got to really see the season to see how it looks and acts. I want to see the points, the different Rumble Balls and different transformations.
Yes.
That'll definitely
Yeah, now
be.
that's the litmus test.
Yeah.
We got to see what
Yeah.
the transformations look
Yeah.
like.
Absolutely,
And-
absolutely.
and how often will he be on screen? You know,
Yeah.
that's another thing that we'll see. But I'm excited. Yo, did you guys know what Tudum was, like, what it stands for?
Isn't that the noise that Netflix makes
Yeah,
in the beginning?
It is.
Dun.
Yeah, dude. I had no idea if, like, and I'm watching it yesterday, and I was like, what does this mean? And then, like, when someone actually said it, and then I put on Netflix, and you hear the
Tudum.
and I was like, oh shit, that's what it is. They got me, bro.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah,
me.
it's silly, man. $1 billion
But,
company.
if you guys haven't, definitely check out the presentation, like the whole thing, the section that they have for the One Piece. It was pretty fucking cool because they had, like, I don't know much about wrestling, but these two wrestlers, that are really big fans of One Piece, they were talking about it. Like, they segued from wrestling into it, and then they had the straw hats come out. Like, bro, everyone was dressed up in straw hats as One Piece characters in that whole. It was in L.A. in that whole stadium, you know. So, like, the movement is real, bro. Like, One Piece is getting so fucking huge, and it's, you know, a big part of it is because of, like, at least over here, is because of the live action, and to see how well reception is getting from at least the live action crowd that were there, you know, it's awesome to see.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
you pulled out the little Oda information. I was like, damn, that's actually fire. That, like, how much they talked about it. So I want to go back and hear more about the specific details and how, you know, it came to be as well. So I definitely will go back and look at the whole footage, like you said.
No, that shit is cool. And then they I think early in the week, Kelly, right? I think you posted it. They, like, the leading up to it, the Straw Hats had a little like
A little skit, kind
a
of.
short little skit, yeah. But they had a sleepover, and you see Luffy in Nami's room, and Nami like, what the heck? And the next thing you know, Sanji's coming with the truffle popcorn. Usopp fixed a snail projector. Zoro's like, where's the booze? And they're here to watch, you know, Chopper be revealed. So you know, that was cool. Like, all these little things are awesome. And I hope they keep doing them.
Yeah, the One Piece live action continues to show what an anime adaptation live action should strive for.
Facts.
It's not perfect,
Yeah.
it's not the best, but it's definitely ideal, especially in this climate where the anime live actions do not live up to par, you know? So
Facts. Yeah.
it's definitely good. Definitely looking forward to season 2. Congrats to all of them. We gotta see what it looks like. Just gotta see what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a banger chapter though. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we have, like, dude, like, dude, it was crazy this week, man. I was on my feet. I was on my back. I was just spazzing. Yeah, I was going. Yo, YS. Yo, I saw your face when I said that. YS. I saw your face, bro. Chill out.
I was hoping you didn't, man.
Let's get into it. Right? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Chapter 1150, Domi Reversi. We go back to the cover story here, and it looks like it's ending? Question mark?
I think so.
Thank God.
Yo, Jesus Christ.
Not thank God. Though. Like,
Jesus. I mean,
Sorry.
we have been here for a while. I do feel like whenever Oda ends a cover story, there's like a definitive, like, the words end or like end of cover story.
Mhm.
I think that's how it normally goes. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%, but I feel like we get 1 or 2 more cover stories after this, maybe. But I think that goes to what we were saying before about how, because the cover stories have been leading into canon events and things tying into the story, maybe something comes out of left turn in these last 2 cover stories to kind of tie into the main plot.
I think that's definitely possible. And I remember last time when we were on the cover story, I think you said, like, the longest other one was, like, what, 40 something, 30 or 40
It was
something.
like 40 something, and we're at, like, what,
right?
34? Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense that we are, at least it's saying that the pilgrimage is ending, but like you said, we're not sure if the cover story is over just yet.
Yeah.
It seems like the second they got, you know, like, Ultium page 1, like the like that was what the pilgrimage was for. I
Right.
find it interesting that, like, it immediately ends right when we get them. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, this is like like if there's a little more. But I guess we'll just have to see because there's no real way to tell.
Yeah, there's not too much else here because it is, like we said, it's towards the end of the cover story, so we already know most everything that's going on. They finally return the sword to the shrine.
Yeah, Sui sword, which is nice.
Yeah, recipe's a coat.
Yeah. Recipes to goat indeed. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. Wait the next chapter to see if we go back to it one more time, 2 more times before it like officially ends. Or this could very well be the official ending. Like I said, I don't really remember if this is how it went, but we could have to see. That's all it is. Onto the actual chapter. We start this chapter off with the giant adults finally reuniting with the kids. We get one of the giant warriors running up to help the kids. We get Colin. It's Colin, right?
Yeah.
We get Colin going berserk, really upset that his dad got tossed into the abyss. Warns the giants of this lady in the back, and we can see Gunkimu. I don't know what we calling her, but we see her.
Pretty cool. I like that.
Gunkimu.
Gunkimu is wild.
Or Gunkmu.
Gunkmu. I like Gunkimu more. I ain't gonna lie.
Gunkimu is ridiculous. We're not doing that one.
So Imunko.
I like Imunko. I like Igunko. I don't know.
Igunko. All right, Imugunko.
There you go.
She's in the back, charging up her hockey. The giants see that she's floating. They try to go to help the kids who are still walking in line from Gunko's arrow powers. And as soon as one of the giants goes to try to get the kids out of the arrow's grasp, they, as we know, get sliced in the face with thorns. And I can't tell in this panel, in the upper left, upper right, in the middle, upper middle, is he getting stabbed in the eye?
Yeah, he is.
Like he loses an eye here, right? Like
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah,
that's what it looks like to me, but I wasn't 100%. I feel like this panel was a little funky. I'm sorry, I hate criticizing you. You know I love you, but
yeah, you could, because you could even tell on the bottom. It doesn't look that finished, because even the bottom. But yeah, I do think he's getting stabbed, and like it's just showing, like, how we were saying, like the amount of love you have for these kids or whatever, for that person that has the curse, the thorn curse on them. You're gonna get more messed up the moment you touch him. So this guy is definitely fucked up.
Yeah, he definitely got stabbed all through the face. You see him falling back in pain, screaming, and this gets the attention of Imugunko, who turns and unleashes the hydrogen hockey bomb, very similar to the one we saw on Egghead from a certain Joy Boy.
Yeah,
well, not from Joy Boy, but from Joy Boy. You know what I mean? Yeah, and they knock out a lot of the island here. We see people within the immediate vicinity get knocked out. We see people over by the castle get knocked out. We see people by Chief Yarul get knocked out, and we know he's almost on the other side of the island. And we also see a particular reaction from Chief Yarul. We see his eyes go into this spiral pattern, which I feel has been teased throughout the entirety of this arc. We've seen multiple different characters randomly show the spiral pattern.
Is that the spiral pattern? I feel like it's just more of like his eyes.
It's more serious.
Okay.
Yeah, like narrowing.
Okay.
When I think of spiral eye pattern, I think of like Emu and Mihawk.
That's what this looks like to me, but I could be wrong. That was my first.
Those are more vivid to me. That's fair.
Okay. No, that's fair. Well, we do see Chief Yarol. Something's going on with him. He's definitely, it has some sort of effect on him for sure.
Like this has his attention pretty much.
Yeah. We see more at the end of the chapter. Well, we go back to Imugunko, and she has created a shield cannon, I guess.
Well, I guess.
think the pentagram is her summoning the.
It's like a magic summon, and she's just
so she's just like cannons from the magic circle summoning thing. Okay, got you. Well, these cannons do some damage. We see her cause an explosion in the background, and we see one of the most aura farming panels we've seen in the arc so far, with her just floating with these devil wings, devil-tailed trident, with an explosion in the background saying, "All resistance must be quashed. Is this the best thy sleeplit tids can do, killing him?" She's looking crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. And
bro,
She's looking worse. She gets crazier as the song goes on, but I do want to say now it's looking real final bossish right now. Like, this looks like what the end game for One Piece should look like. Bro, an end game villain for the series should look like.
I'm not gonna lie, after reading this chapter, I got a little emotional because I was like, damn, bro, we are really fucking here. Like, this is it. Like, this is the ending of fucking One Piece. Like, it's turning, like, in a way, it's turning into like Black Clover by dealing with like the devil, like more devil magic and stuff, which I don't mind because I actually like that shit. And like the fact that Imu is seen as like the sea devil, it makes sense, right? Like, we get to have Luffy as like the sun god versus the sea devil. So I'm excited. But the fact that blows my mind is that Imu was able to take a god knight and possess them and then use their own powers to an extent, you know, like, and we're gonna see more too. But this is just wild.
Yeah,
absolutely wild.
Yeah, Imu is looking like premier badass. I can't lie. I'm fucking with it. I like the introduction.
Me too. I don't think any of us expected this.
No.
No. What I was gonna say was that, like, I feel like again, I always say it because it really had that much of a lasting impact on me. Like the chapter in Egghead where the Gorosei, like, Saturn appearing was nuts and again fucking crazy. But when he summons all of them to deal with Luffy, my brain broke, brother. I fell off my chair, bro. So, and I feel like that gave me a sense of One Piece. I can never predict anything ever again, like the big things, because Oda is just gonna take it so much more crazy than we thought. So I feel like this chapter really gave me that feeling for Elbaph. I know I said that last chapter about the end of the chapter, but again, like, seeing Imu actually, like you said, Mr. use their abilities through Gunko, which, by the way, is very interesting. I want to it makes me want to go back to Punk Hazard when all the Straws were swapped and see if any of them could use their abilities. Oh wait, did Frankie use Monster Point with Chopper and then get knocked out?
Yeah, basically he was irresponsible.
Yeah, and then he went.
Chopper told him to take only it was something very funny because he told him like you only should take one or something like that. And he just like snatched them all three. Like he just did it like instantly.
I do think that the Rumble Ball is a little against your point just because it's an outside. But I see that
is a good point. It makes me want to go back and see if anyone could use any abilities while they're swapped. But I don't know if there are any other Delph users swap like that.
Well, technically, the Rumble Ball is like, it is Chopper's ability. I don't think you can give the Rumble Ball to like Luffy and he grows like giant monster. I think that's specifically so he could trigger his.
I think the point was more so
ability, right?
I think the point was more so, can these people use the powers that are inherent within their body?
Yes, that's really more where I was going, but I also think still though, but yeah, so Callie's point about the Rumble Ball being an exterior factor is a good point, because I was wondering, like, is it based on, can you just force and use someone else's Devil Fruit while you're in their body? And the fact that it's an exterior thing is important, because it means that it hasn't confirmed that Frankie could have used Chopper's ability by himself, but it was more so it was forced by an exterior thing. So I think it is important to note, but I actually still do think that it's important that Chopper's body could still use Devil Fruit functions, even though Chopper's mind
wasn't there. I see.
Because it makes me kind of more concrete on my hypothesis that Imu and them aren't Devil Fruit users.
There's something different, yeah.
Now this, I'm convinced it's not.
Because Imu, at least in this chapter, doesn't use any of Gunko's powers.
Yep.
So, definitely something to think about.
Yeah, and somehow, despite not being in their body, they use their own abilities. So, it makes me wonder.
Yeah, and all these abilities, like from a Devil Fruit, I don't think so. Like, for the past, like, since like Punk, not Punkcaster, but Egghead, all the way to up to this point, we just got so many phenomenal different confirmations of Imu's abilities and powers and stuff that I'm not convinced that all this is because of one Devil Fruit. If it is, that would be insane. That would be insane.
Wait, it's not out of the realm of possibility though, because look at all the things that Luffy could do ever since he unlocked Gear 5. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Luffy is doing some crazy shit.
He is, but to the level of these feel
I mean,
like
this
you
is just
know-
a what, like a scratch, like a glimpse of whatever the true power of Emu too. So
Yeah, Imu's giving people marks that make them able to teleport and like and use their crazy.
immortality.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Like,
Well,
just,
you know, actually, I'll bring this up real quick because I'm in. One of my boys had a theory on what this particular power might possibly be. And they actually guessed the mythical Zoan, the Leviathan, and I was like, what? Like, I was very confused at first. And they read down a breakdown of the list of things that Leviathans apparently do. I'm not hip on Norse mythology, but apparently they have regeneration, some type of control powers, ability to take control of others, possession, immortality, telepathy. And I was like, I didn't even know Leviathans could do all that shit. But yeah, I guess it's something to think about if you
That is
are leaning
interesting,
towards
yeah.
the devil fruit side, you know.
and I feel like that would that could make sense because the Leviathan is seen as like the sea devil, like, you know. So
Yeah, Emu will see. Yeah.
I feel
yeah,
like a
it's
lot of it is like biblical devil stuff, like biblical Satan. In a lot of ways, just like I mean, obviously, idea of devil fruits is very like Adam and Eve whole thing, the Adam and Eve trees. But just turning people like into demons, the horns. Like just look at the emu in this panel, right? Like the little 3-pointed trident, the tail, and again, it's crazy that we saw that arrow tail thing used to kill
before,
Cobra,
yeah,
and now we see
yeah.
it again. I just think it's holy shit, bro. That was like 100 plus, was it 1086? So like
Yeah.
6 chapters ago. Like it's just bro. Now that Mr. said it about the whole like this is where we are so crazy, it's hitting me right now that this is fucking crazy.
Dude, I was fucking emotional the other day. I was like, yo, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, let's keep it going though.
Yeah. So Emu Gonko is berating Killingham, wondering if this is the best that his dream monsters can do. And he starts to explain his powers. He says that these nightmare holes remain open and that they continue to spawn monsters from every nightmare found on the island, and that these are creatures from the dreams. These are creatures from dreams with no concept of death, so they can be revived at any time on command. So these things are a lot more broken than we originally thought they were, because that's actually insane. He just basically has an infinite supply of army of monsters at his disposal. Yeah, so he lets Gunko know that. Gunko tells Summers, we found out, is coming back to his original form. He tells Summers to lead the line of whelps, so like watch over the Straw Hats.
I think to lead the little kids. No.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this would be a TCB mistranslation, because in the TCB translation and OP scans actually, because I read both of them because I was fiending for the chapter.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but in both those translations, Gonkimu says to Summers something along the lines of the Straw Hats, or that's what the translation leads it to say.
I think TCB went with like I have it literally right in front of me. TCB says shepherd those urchins, and is definitely more like to me seems like the kids.
When so I read the OP scan ones and it specifically said Straw Hats. So when I read the TCB one after, I assumed that they meant Straw Hats, and so
let me just say.
Oh, here we go.
I was gonna scar that. Let me chill out.
But bro, in my defense, bro.
No, I'm not gonna roast you, brother. I'm not gonna roast you.
All right, cool.
I was gonna roast all these guys because, bro, they came out with some rushed ass chapter talking about lead the Straw Hats, shepherds, and just for that, because they rushed chapters, they came out so early, or not early, but earlier. And I saw the fucking emu panel on Twitter because people want to draw it because OP scans dropped early. Man, fuck OP scans, bro. Anyway.
Oh man.
To be fair, I looked up OP scans because I kept seeing shit on Twitter from like Tuesday, like before the OP scans even.
The spoilers were going crazy.
That's
but
what you said what you said on Wednesday, right? That's what you're like, man. I wish this came out on Wednesdays,
I've been
bro.
dodging this shit all week, so finally I saw a little bit of something. I'm like, no, I can't do this no more. I have to see what's going on before I actually get spoiled. You know. It'd be like that.
Comes at a cost of understanding.
Yeah. Such is life. Okay, so Emu Goku is telling Summers to lead the children. and Summers is starting to regenerate. We see the Strass reacting to Emu Gonku's new appearance. We see Robin wondering where the hell is Luffy, rightfully so, because Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji are having a dance party with Loki while the island is under attack. But
That's wild.
yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, we see Nami let them know where Luffy, Zoro, Sanji are. Brooke fills them in that her hydrogen is there as well with his group of giants. And then we see Robin heartbreakingly trying her hardest to get these thorn vines off of her. And then I guess we can see the way this paneling is looking, I feel like she's looking at the library going on fire as she's trying to, so it's heartbreaking, man. You know how much this means to her.
I'm just curious what's going on with the bird, like the big owl.
I was thinking
in the
that
library.
as well. That was on my mind as well, because we know that he stays there.
Yeah, and it's the guardian of the library, so I'm curious if like it's already like getting the stuff out. I don't know. I hope at least, right?
I saw a great idea that if that bird uses its ability to make the books even bigger, then the flames wouldn't affect them as much. I thought that was cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like
So they can make it really small too, right? Could he do big and small, or is it just big?
If it was already big, like if it's a giant book, it can't make it small.
But if it makes something big, it can make it small again?
Yeah.
I think it probably,
Okay.
probably can reverse the ability.
Okay. Yeah, so Summers is regenerating, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. He's trying to figure out the best course of action to go from here. Now the Gunkimu has taken control, trying to figure out how to use these kids as bait now. He starts sucking up to Gunkimu. And he talks about how much pain he's in off of Gaban's attacks. So we know he's hurting. He's not down for the count. He's still regenerating, so his regenerative powers haven't been shut off. It looks like they've more so been slowed than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this ability that Gaban is using is a finite solution. Maybe if he used it, used it in like a stronger attack, it could be, but yeah, we need more info on whatever this ability is.
I'm curious if these guys are like, who is that dude? Damn, is it Haku? No, in Naruto, Shikamaru fought him. Was it Hidan?
Hidan, yeah.
Split him into pieces. I wonder if that's something that they have to do, like use this ability that Scooper Gaban used, right? Kind of like a scalpel, like cutting them into pieces and then like separate them.
Well, that'd be really cool because that was foreshadowed in Orange Town when Luffy defeated Buggy that same exact way. So that'd be really cool if we ended up tying one of them up or some shit like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
As like this is how I did it last night.
Yeah. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
So fire.
That would be sick.
I'd be here for that.
Immortality, is always tricky in any kind of medium with it in it. Usually cutting people's head off works, but as we see here, I think he could be chopped up to many pieces and still come back together. It's more like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like it's not a word. It's not like Hidan. It's more like, what's her name? I forgot her name, but the chick from Naruto that with the angel wings, the paper.
Oh my god, dude! Fuck.
I feel you.
Conan.
Yeah, I know, right? But you know who I'm talking about. Her stuff, like she can disassemble, reassemble, like in many different like pieces and stuff from many different paper scattered around. So that's kind of what this type of immortality reminds me of. So if that's the case, I honestly I don't know how they get like defeated. I don't know. Maybe Sea Prism works on them too. So like maybe in the future, you gotta like capture them the same way like with the bubble. The bubble in Punk Hazard that they used to capture the Seraphim. Maybe something like that. I don't know.
You say that made me realize that this actually reminds me a lot of Logia abilities. Not necessarily regenerate, but the fact that they caught their body kind of, it's not like it's malleable around an element necessarily, but it regenerates and contorts in that same way as Loki is when they lose a portion, quote unquote, lose a portion of their body and then just comes right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is just the better version. This is this
EX version.
This is basically no hockey, regular hockey just doesn't work. They still get that same, that same privilege. So what if Loki is derived from this? Like, if we suspect that Imu's power isn't like devil fruit related, but his immortality stuff he gives or whatever, what if the Logia, the concept of Logia invulnerability comes from that type of immortality originally?
I like the idea that these people are the devils that inspire devil fruits. Obviously, like the timeline is weird, because we know that devil fruits exist in the Void Century.
Right.
But I do think because I'm a big fan of Imu Neurona being like possessed by some evil spirit. Well, again, I have so much to think about because of this chapter. But I wouldn't be surprised if the devils that the black magic that they're using is like what the devil fruits are inspired by.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I could see that. So Summers is regenerated, trying to get his body back, and then we see Dory and Bragi and the rest of the giant pirates run down on Gunkimu as she begins a speech. She says, "Dory the blue ogre, Bragi the red ogre, I charge thee with dominance over this land. Thou will be kings." As she does this, Bragi,
You got it.
nice. Bragi scoops her up and starts screaming in her face, "Are you with the Holy Knights? You're the one that's doing all this bullshit. You're done." More or less. Paraphrasing, you know?
I think he would have approved.
Yeah. So he tells the rest of the giant pirates, including Dory, to continue on while he holds on to Gunkimo. He screams at her, tells her to give back the children. How many of you are there? Just tries to drill her for information, but she is completely oblivious and continues her speech. She says, "Understand this. Thou will meet with Beard Hill Jarul, cut his head off, hold it aloft, then announce to the people that we are the kings of Elbaph." As she's doing this, she manifests a demonic book of sorts. And then this book manifests weapons. It's a lot. It's a lot. As she's doing this, Bragi completely flat out refuses, says, "This is our country, you can't tell us what to do." And Gunkimo's like, "Cool, shotgun blast," and just blows Bragi's arm clean off.
She had two weapons out. She stabbed him with a knife.
Yeah, she stabbed him with the knife first. I was being facetious. She stabbed him with the knife first to release the grip, and then proceeded to blow his arm off. Or blow his wrist off. He blew his hand off. This panel is absolutely crazy. This is one of the most hardcore panels I've seen post time skip. All of One Piece. Not even post time skip. All of One Piece.
We saw the string going get his hand cut.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nearly as crazy as this.
Wait, we saw what? Say it again?
The string Doflamingo like get his head cut off.
Oh yeah.
But this one we see like his arm, like the gruesome, like it's not a perfect cut. You can see the blast, like it deformed the bottom of his wrist. It's crazy.
You know what it is? A lot of times when we see maiming in One Piece, it's not with real people. It's always with clones or doppelgangers, or even recently with Vegapunk's case, it was Vegapunk, but it was also like a clone machine type of thing. So like, we don't really see maiming, people losing body parts, limbs, disfiguration with actual humans.
Well, aside from like Shanks.
Yeah,
and even then we didn't see it happen.
1150 chapters ago. Like, that shit is crazy.
Well, hold on, you got Whitebeard.
Whitebeard's another one, but even that one was like 600 chapters ago. Like, we don't see it very often at all. Right. Yeah, so like it's definitely takes me aback when we see humans specifically get disfigured, maimed like this. Like, it's gruesome, and One Piece is not known for its gruesome, so
No, not at all, and especially with how, like you said, how gruesome and gory like this one is. Like, this is definitely the worst one we've seen. I've never like the ham blew off like crazy. Like
Yeah, that
she
shit
just
looks like
blew-
realistic, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Like can only imagine what they're gonna do for the anime because I don't think they're gonna show all that. But if someone does a colored panel of this, it's just gonna look crazy. Like
Yeah, you know,
Oda
Hell-
went off.
like Gon's burned arm or whatever. Like that's what they're
I'm
doing.
about to say, yeah, they'll do something like that because I think they did something like you remember when Ashura Doji when he got blew up,
Mhm.
and in the anime they didn't show what he looked like, but like
True.
they darkened like his whole body out. It was
Yeah.
like it was crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll do something like that with Broggy's arm. Also, nah, Whitebeard's was still more gruesome, bro.
Whitebeard's was
Like,
crazy.
I
Whitebeard
had
had
never
a chunk of
forgot
his
that
head
panel
going.
in my life,
Yeah, no,
bro.
that's
Like
fair.
the fact that his whole face got like
that is
half
true.
of his face was
Yeah,
blown off.
he had a
Like, bro,
chunk of
that
his head
was
going.
crazy.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I'm not mad at that at all.
So one thing that I really like, just from like in Goku, whatever, is kind of like she's kind of like using powers like Trish from Devil May Cry and Dante at the same time, like with the magic circles and shit like that. But then also pulling out different weapons like Dante would. Like it's like some Devil May Cry shit right now. I'm for it.
Ali's description is spot on. She conjured a book, which conjured a gun, and it wouldn't surprise me if the gun conjured something else. Like-
Definitely wouldn't be surprised. This is also, I feel like I might be reaching a little bit here, but I feel like this weapon looks a little more modern than most guns we've seen. I could be reaching
No,
here.
Ben Beckman uses a gun similar to that.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I feel like it has some more flair to it, but yeah, I agree. It's nothing out of the.
Okay.
It has the flint on top too, like the old pirate
Yeah.
guns.
You know what
yeah,
it
I'm
is?
about
It's just
to
we
say,
don't
this
see
is like a
we
oldish looking gun.
yeah
to me.
we just don't see guns that often, and we don't see guns
Especially
as
like
a,
this detail.
yeah, and as like a primary fighting style. We see like military grunts with guns. We don't see like Ben Beckman's all everywhere, you know. So like it's a little different.
Also, it's like a double barrel. Like she actually pulled like
Yeah,
the
no,
shotty
it's a
out.
whole double barrel shotty. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm not
It's
gonna
all
lie.
off.
She didn't have to do all
Huge
that.
too. Yeah.
Nah, this nigga's reaction is so real.
Oh, the
That was
captain's
me.
arm?
I heard the
Yeah.
captain.
No, 100%. I was taken aback. I was taken aback what happens next too. To be honest, but
No.
But yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So to keep it going, Broggy has lost his arm. He's kneeled over in pain. His crew is completely shocked that anybody could hurt Broggy, much less take off his whole arm. And they get enraged. As they do that, Gonko begins to create another demonic circle, continues his speech, and says, in exchange for some measure of thy lifespan, thou will receive an undying body and uncanny strength. Under fealty to Mu, thou art unbound by common sense and logic. Demons are the only proper form for life to take. Diabolical covenant. And as she says this, we get another circle pop up underneath Broggy's feet, and his crew can only look on in horror as Broggy begins to sink into the circle. We see Imu Gonko flip her hand and say Domi Reversi, chapter title, and we see the magic circle begin to lift up from the ground and slowly engulf Broggy. And he starts off this part of the chapter actually this is where I was like, oh nah, this is a final boss.
Yeah.
This was the part of the chapter, and it wasn't even necessarily just what was happening, but it was Broggy's reaction, because he starts off like whoa, and then the captain they're yelling for the captain, and then he starts pleading. He's like, wait, stop, like he's genuinely terrified. And I think that was the part of the chapter that really got me. I'm like, yo, nah, she's crazy. But yeah, the whole circle completely engulfs him, and what stands from the circle is not the original Broggy, but it is a demonic version of Broggy who is twice as tall, twice as strong, demonic wings and teeth, and a complete menace. His crew looks on in shock as Broggy lifts his axe towards his own crew and sends them blasting off again, Team Rocket style.
Team Rocket's
Yeah,
down.
mid sentence too. I think they were literally saying he would never do this to his crew. He's got a warrior's pride. Boop, you're done. Yeah, it's rough. And we get some word. We actually get some words from Brocky. He says he feels all powerful now. Now nothing can stop him. I guess let's keep going because with Dory is going through the same exact thing. He tells his crew that it's time to go kill Chief Jarul under Imu Gonko's orders. His crew is trying to figure out what the hell is going on and possibly stop them, because they know that if they fall through with this, then everything is ruined. Elbaph is ruined. But as the crew tries to get it together, we see some of the crewmates also begin to transform. They go through the circles as well. One of the crewmates that wasn't transformed infer that it was possibly because they were standing between Dory and Bragi.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
crazy.
That's different.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not sure how much truth that is, but I feel like Oda wouldn't put that in if there wasn't any type of, there was like no merit to it.
I feel like that was one of those like Oda nudge hint hint.
Yeah, yeah. Which is absolutely insane.
Because we don't see Dory, we don't see his transformation. Like his hand didn't get blown off or anything. We do know that Imu Gonko called out his name, but like I'm just curious as to how he turned also, you know.
I think you can see that, like, because if you look at the bottom right page, or the right page, sorry, and if you look at the bottom at the ending of it, from the Bragi getting hype page panel to the next one, there's those two bars on the bottom panel. It's like one of those scene skipping ones. Yeah.
So she got the captain. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, those little bars just mean the scene skips forward. So we
Yeah.
like, you gotta assume we missed that.
Okay. That's crazy. Just in between them. So that mean anyone that goes in between them could turn into a demon?
I don't know what the criteria for this power is. All I know is it's broken as shit.
Yeah, and that one panel is like kind of saying, like showing what that guy was saying, because like they are lined up.
Yeah, they are literally lined up in between them.
So I guess that's Oda showing like, yeah, like this shit is infectious if like kind of lines up, and also like with the whole pentagram thing, I don't know, it just makes me think of lines and all that stuff, like
like the shapes,
maybe it does work.
Lines, the shapes the lines make. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Like I just don't hope if like one of the Straw Hats get caught between them, they're gonna turn into a demon. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, it's just questions that are now popping up.
Yo, the Straw Hats are right next to these guys tied up, right? They're literally watching all this happen, no?
Yeah, they're right there.
They're in the area somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is rough, man. This is rough. Do we want to talk about what the hell this power is? Domain Reversi, domain expansion? Like, this shit is crazy, man.
Again, I don't know what this is, but...
The last page. Let's just finish the last page.
Yeah, I think we should finish
Okay. Let's finish the last page. His last page is also crazy. We get a full 2-page spread.
Yep.
I guess this isn't a full 2-page spread, right? Because it's still the bottom. You still have panels at the bottom. We get a half 2-page spread. And we see this is the power of Elbaph. We see giant demons, we see nightmare monsters, and it is a truly scary sight at Elbaph. We said the tension wasn't too crazy, and Oda said bet.
He said, I got you.
I also want to try and take my credit here. I don't know if you guys are gonna fight me back on this. I want to try and take a little bit of credit here, because I remember we were arguing about whether Imu was going to take the kids and leave and take them as hostage. It wasn't about that necessarily, but for that last line Imu said last chapter about how Mary Joie is in flames and we need more firepower, we need more people or whatever, and I said that she meant Elbaph forces, and you guys said they meant the Holy Knights going back to Mary Joie. I don't know if you guys remember this discussion.
I do.
No, it was last week.
Yeah,
I remember a week ago.
I feel like her doing this is more indicative of her wanting Elbaph forces for whatever is to come.
Well, this is what they wanted the whole time, right?
Yes, I would say that.
Using the kids to get them so that Imu could do this. Imu said, "Fuck this! You guys taking way too much time," and just came and did it themselves. Like that's
And even the line that she says at the bottom after saying it's going to be ruled over, she says, perhaps it's time to stay and watch to see how useful they're going to be in a war. Like, and I feel like that means that she was planning on just doing this and then taking
that though. Is it not?
Sorry?
Is that not Killingham saying that? Or that's Imu talking?
I don't think that's
Imu. It's Imu.
Imu's like, yeah, Imu's like the high tribe. And I think it's her saying that like we're gonna just do this and leave, and then we're gonna just take kids, make sure that you guys get it and leave. But maybe I might watch to see how you guys fare and handle it. But I think that this was inevitable. I think I even said that when Imu comes, they're gonna expedite the process of getting the kids and taking over Elbaph.
No, but Cal, you're not wrong though, because
what I was hearing what I was hearing is that I was not getting my credit. So like that's where my mind was at. You know what I'm saying? But as long as I'm getting my credit, I'm cool. You feel me?
Well, I mean, all of us had some form of credit because I was like, Imu's gonna do something huge.
No, that's real. That's real. I had more, but that's real. That's real. This
guy. But we never expected this though. The fact that you could literally just turn anyone into a demon like this is wild.
Yeah, no, this power is absolutely insane. Let's wrap up the chapter real quick because we only got one more panel. So Gonkimu says, the kingdom won't be destroyed, will be ruled over. We'll stay and watch, see what these giants are about. And then we cut back to the village where Chief Jarl is at, where Chief Jarl is getting warnings that he needs to flee because Dorian and Bragi are coming for your head top. And Chief Jarl looks off and says, never tell a warrior to run from battle. It looks like it almost seems like he's had like a personality shift.
Like it's like he awakened.
Yeah.
You know, like,
which I think also leads to why Huss's everlasting theory that his brain is all scrambled mush, whatever. Maybe this hockey knock some sense back into him, possibly.
You pointing out that his eyes kind of like narrowed. I thought that's how I took that little panel of him locking in. That's a good point. It could have been the hockey, but I think it could just be like how people aren't all cognitively there, have like periods of lucidity and clearness. It could be something like that. I mean, it came at a great time.
I do like the hockey thing because like
I do like it too.
Jaru was there when things happened with King Harold, right? And like, what if this same thing happened to King Harold, and that's what caused Loki to kill him because he turned into a demon?
I've been seeing that on that's been the running theory I've been seeing on Twitter a lot.
And so like Jaru was just like, until the moment he felt that hockey again, that's when he's like, nah. Like it's time to like, no, like this enemy is back. I'm here to lock in, type of shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
I think that'd be really cool. That'd be a cool way to tie everything in. If this is what happened to the old king, and maybe Loki had to kill him. Possibly.
Speaking of
all those guards, imagine all those guards being either they turned or they were trying to stop him and they all got killed.
Yeah,
you know.
Go ahead, Wes.
I was gonna say that the Jarl, like I find it interesting that they're like, "Yo, you guys go murk Jarl and take over the country." When Jarl acquiesced to their demands to burn the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder why Imu. Maybe it's because she wants the strongest soldiers to be the leader of this puppet country. Like now that I said that, I feel like that's like the answer.
But why is Jaru so important though? Like he's just the oldest. You know what I mean? He knows. So that means he knows something. That's what they want him. They want him out.
I could see that, and like maybe he opposed. That's why Harold's sword is in his head, right? Like,
possible. It's definitely possible.
There's so many questions.
There's a lot of questions, man. There's a lot of questions with this chapter, man.
Let me ask this question. So, do we think that Dorian Bragi will ever turn back to normal?
Yes,
or is this?
I was gonna ask that. Yeah, I mean, it has to do something with Luffy's power, no?
Yes, Mr. I agree. I think Luffy's Gems of Liberation is gonna like free them.
I'm still in the belief that there will be consequences from this arc, that linger into the final war or the next arc or whatever the case may be. Maybe it won't necessarily be Imu kidnaps the children and that leads into, but I think that this arc, something negative will happen that carries on into the next arc or the final war or whatever the case may be. If that is Dorian Bragi not transforming, I could see that, but that's not high on my list necessarily. I do agree that I can see them seeing Sun God Nika and Nika ho ho do you know, like and, you know how it goes. Drums of liberation and all that jazz. But yeah, I do think that something negative happens that carries on over to
Because it'd be crazy.
final arc.
It'd be crazy if they're not able to turn back and they actually have to take him out. You know what I mean? And then that's when the new giant pirates have to like step in and take over. Because this is still the old guard.
Yo, you know, I actually saw a theory where we get Luffy and the gang come up, and it ends up being Hydrogen and Loki versus Dorian Bragi.
Yo,
That'd be kind of dope.
Which I think would be really cool.
But
Luffy gotta give Hydrogen the same power up.
Yeah, he's too small.
Yeah, no, Hydrogen is a little buns. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's a little buns.
One thing that, cause I know people keep posting this thing, the fact that Usopp wants to become a brave warrior, right? And then Jaru saying never tell a warrior to run from battle. We always know Usopp's one to run, but I feel like in this situation, cause I still think, what is the name of the hammer? I know it's not Mjolnir, but it's very similar. Ragnar, yes. What if, because Loki's out, you know, this is just, you know, me two-piecing, whatever. But because Usopp's there, what if like everyone's starting to run, but he doesn't? He's like, no, like this is it. Like we're not. I'm not running from this. We need to do something. And he's doing all his can. Next thing you know, you see Ragnar come out of nowhere, go into Usopp's hand, and he turns fucking into a big Thor giant, you know.
And then he dies trying to save Elbaph. Let's go. The warrior prophecy fulfilled. I do really like the Usopp picking up Ragnar theory. I think that's cool. I think it'd be really cool if we saw him get a nice little power up like that. I'm here for it. I can
understand, but me personally, this is it's a little too much of a two-piece for me. For me personally, because we don't even know what the requirements are to be able to lift Ragnar in the first place. Like, we don't know if you got to be like a terrible person, a warrior, a worthy warrior, Elbaph heir to the throne or something. Like, I don't even.
The only reason I'm saying that is because like Loki was able to use it, right? We don't know if we don't know if is the hammer sentient or not. You know what I mean? And like Loki used it when he needed to in a dire situation. Whatever happened with Harold, right? We're assuming that this is what happened, right? And then I'm assuming that like if the thing is sentient, then it's gonna like choose the next wielder for like the right time. But I mean that's also like you said, very two-piece. Or we have Luffy and Loki both come out and fight these two.
You know what? I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think Usopp he's getting something, but Ragnar, I think that's just Loki's weapon for now, unless we get some type of, what's it called? Like Age of Ultron, foreshadowing with Captain America was able to slightly nudge Mjolnir or whatever, something like that. If we get some foreshadowing like that for Usopp, something in those veins, or him talking with Loki.
He's been using hammers this whole time.
Oh,
he's shown cowardice throughout this whole series, dude. Right? He's always been a coward, but he always wants to be brave. Like that's the whole point of Usopp. Like this is the moment that we've been waiting for.
I'm not 100% on this theory, but I don't think that Mr. is wrong for having that. I don't think Mr.'s wrong for that.
No one's wrong. This is all theories.
I'm talking about specifically the hammer thing. I don't think that that's like a point to like go against necessarily. Like I think that is genuine foreshadowing. He's been using hammers the entirety of the series.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about regular. No, wait. We talking about a workshop hammer.
Well, has
hammers.
well,
Not even real hammers.
You acting like you can't power up, dude. This is fucking One Piece.
Who else has been using hammers? Who else has been seen using a hammer? At all? Who else ever been seen holding the hammer on the Triad crew?
I don't understand the correlation. I ain't gonna hold you. What do you mean?
To foreshadow is to give a hint of a coming event, right?
Right. So to some degree, but I feel like it's a little loose. That's all I'm saying. Like that's a little bit of a loose thread.
That's not what you said. You said it was just completely wrong. That's what you said before.
Well, no, I never said it was completely wrong. I said I understood why, but I said like, come on though, like hammers as like when I say come on, I'm not saying that's completely wrong. I'm saying like, oh, I feel like that's a little bit of a loose thread to grasp to. But I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. It's One Piece. So.
I'm speaking strictly on the foreshadowing thing. I don't see how that's not. If his final weapon is an extraordinarily powerful hammer to the guy, the only Straw Hat that's why I said the only Straw Hat, because you can't make that correlation with any other Straw Hat because none of them have even touched a hammer to carpet or to hit people with or whatever the case may be. It's not like he was
hold on. Didn't Frankie use a hammer?
Did he? For what? I guess for building
ships.
Yeah, but
I mean, you can say that about any carpenter, right? Technically, any carpenter uses a hammer, right?
We're gonna focus on details, I think.
I feel like that's a moot point to argue against. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm saying like
we can agree to disagree. It's not really the end of the world with this. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why is because I would think like Usopp's like if he got Ragnar or like any what he would be basically a close range brawler when he's the sniper. His best weapon should obviously be the sniper, and Ragnar will overshadow any sniper skills he acquired throughout the series.
I feel like he might not because Thor was still able to use Mjolnir after Captain America used it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like because one used it, the other one can't use it. You know what I mean?
No, so, it's also like a lightning hammer, right? Like summon lightning shit. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't say like Ragnar will over. I'm saying Ragnar will overstep any.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is Usopp doesn't have to have it for the rest of the series. Like this could be like a moment type of thing, or something similar.
Usopp has also been using hammers close range. Like this isn't a crazy. like I know we said Frankie was using it to build Carpenter, but Usopp's the only one that was using it as a pseudo weapon. Granted, it wasn't like actually hitting anybody. It wasn't a real weapon.
Like
it was still being used in combat. It wasn't hurting anybody, but it was being used in combat. We're not gonna act like he didn't.
It was a fake hammer, though. It wasn't even real. It was
he did have the one hit on Mans. He was smacking up that one Mans with a real hammer. I think it was the Fishman in
with his carpenter hammer. That's a carpenter hammer.
I don't want to get into my point is that is the textbook definition of foreshadowing. I don't know if y'all know literary, but that is textbook definition of foreshadowing. Like,
do you really feel like that's foreshadowing?
That's literally what it is. That's if the guy who uses hammers in combat, albeit not seriously, gets a hammer for combat at the end of the series, that's literal foreshadowing. Like
that's the word literal. Like, yeah, it definitely is literal. Like there's no one else better suited from what we know of previous story events. I agree with Callie. Like
that's my point. I'm not even with the actual reality of if it happens or not, or you know what I'm saying. My point is that is literal textbook. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Very baseline.
I think
that's fair. I agree.
I think that point is better with like someone like Zoro, where we see him using swords. So we see like an extravagant sword, which we always foreshadow Zoro getting a certain sword or whatever, like the Katetsu, whatever. When that came into play, we were like, "Oh, Zoro's getting that," because we see Zoro effectively use swords all the time.
But bro,
Usopp don't use hammers all the time in combat. He uses it like one time to smack up Mans, one time, and it's a carpenter hammer. Bro, it's not even like a battle hammer.
Bro, that point that you just made is the literal point that I'm making, because you see swords and draw the correlation so that if we see a new sword, we want to give it to Zoro, which
You're
is
not
why,
understanding what I'm saying, though.
when we saw the new hammer, Ragnar, 95% of the community was like, "Oh, Usopp is about to go
get that hammer." Oh my goodness, bro! Look, I'm saying
okay,
like,
what I think I can say about this is that I think Mon, I think for your point, I think you underestimate how many people draw a connection between Usopp and how much the hammer was iconic to Usopp as in people's view of him. Like, I think I agree at what you mean in the sense that, like, technically he doesn't really use a hammer and he used it like only to scare Perona, right?
and it wasn't a real hammer.
I agree with you, but I think it still made a lasting impression on people, and I think that's kind of what matters in the sense of like how people view what's possible for Usopp, because it's still
Okay, this is new to me.
I felt like there was a disconnect somewhere, and I think that's it. I just think like a lot of people, like us included, obviously view hammers as part of Usopp's, even though there's got to be more than one time he used that stupid ass big hammer. But yeah, it's what people, part of what people view, and I see what you mean. Since it could take a big part of his arsenal. If it's Ragnar, it doesn't have to be the Ragnar. It could be what Ragnar was made of. But I just feel like we took a lot of.
You want to say like Usopp gets his own hammer? Sure, I like. It's just that the idea that he gets Loki's hammer, that I don't understand that at all.
It's also too fucking big for him, right? Like there's like it doesn't have to be that
exactly. Carrying that big ass hammer.
But
to me, because to me,
what you do with all that, bro?
Right.
It's a magic hammer. That shit could change. You never know.
That's also facts. That's also facts, Mister.
Yeah.
But just like how
we're dealing with magic already. That shit could shrink. It's not
true. Like the owl could potentially make it.
That might have been what happened
or something like that. That could be cool.
Yeah.
But like, I just wanted to say, like, just for me personally, like the swords with Zoro makes sense because that's what he uses. So if you see a new sword in the future, I get that. But for Usopp, I don't think of hammers. I think of sniper tools. I think of sniper.
That literally goes into what Wyas is saying, is that you just have a different perspective than.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is though, I don't think we would disagree with him that Usopp's main thing is sniping.
No, it is. His main thing is sniping. His main thing is sniping. I'm not going to deny that.
Be that clear, because his point is that if we're looking at an Usopp upgrade and it's something as powerful as Ragnar, it should be a sniper.
Exactly. Like
I don't
that's what
disagree.
he's known for.
That's fair.
Because if he's like got a hammer that like is some Thor tier hammer, I feel like that will overshadow like what Usopp's role.
Not if it adjusts.
skills.
If it's able to, like, I don't know, because it could always change, right? Because like imagine Usopp shooting fucking lightning bolts. That shit would be crazy. Because he can still be a sniper with fucking lightning.
Yeah. What if he pulls out Kabuto and shoots the hammer?
Yo,
that seems so freaking.
Bro, like Thor with that shit, swinging it and throwing it at people and shit.
At that point, Oda's just trying to appease everybody. At that point, because I'd be looking at him like, really, like that's what we do.
Bro, three piece, real quick. This is what's gonna happen. Usopp gets Ragnar, right? He carries it with him to the final showdown with Blackbeard. He fights Van Orger. Van Orger takes Ragnar, he makes Usopp lose Ragnar. He shoots Ragnar out of his hand and it falls into the sea or some shit. And Usopp's like, no, what do I do? Wait a minute, I'm a sniper. And then just starts sniping the shit out of Van Orger. Boom.
Yo, series over after that.
Just like that,
we won.
Full circle.
I do think it's like Usopp's sniper skills. Like it might just be a whole thing of his skills are what has to improve, because we saw like with fucking Van Alger, brother, that guy was shooting birds above the Straw Hat ship before Jaya, and they couldn't see him. He was shooting it from the shore of Jaya, right? It's the skills that kind of make the sniper, it seems.
Yeah.
So I think that's also one thing. But again, anything's possible.
Yeah, for sure. Anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. We will get like Usopp shooting hammers, Elbaph hammers.
That's hype.
Like all
I'm
over
here
the
for it.
place. That's his new ammo.
Is there anything else? We don't know what's going on with this circle, right? We don't really got much to.
We don't really have much to say. I do think though that the whole book thing, I kind of want to remind what happened when they saw the abyss, like the mark, the summoning circle in the castle. Rodo said some shit about black magic books, if I recall. I hope I'm not making that up. I feel like he said something like that. Because Nami was asking, like, it was him or Nami that was saying that It reminds me of some things I've seen in these, like, people will talk about black magic books, right? One of them said something like that. And I feel like her pulling out this like mage book, like she pulled it out, and there's a panel where we can see the book in her hand, and it has a pentagram on it. So I think this book and all this magic stuff is kind of pointing more and more and more as we go towards. The middle panel on the right. It's hard to see in the stream, but it does have a pentagram in the circle. So it seems like we're getting more and more of this whole thing about emus and the devil's ability, some sort of magic from the past or whatever. And it reminds me of Brook when he was time skip when he was pushed by Kuma. He lands in a summoning circle of the people of Arm, and it's not a pentagram, I think, but it's close. And they're talking about how they were trying to summon not just the devil but Satan, right? And now that Emu seems to be very inspired by biblical Satan, just if you look at the Emu panel this chapter, that I think was very interesting. And the last little arrow I'll draw from that is, so the Brook was being spawned in this place of little biblical Satan, and suddenly Brook is tied to Gunko. And Gunko, by the way, last chapter we said, is there anything special about Gunko? And do you think that can Emu just take over people's body, or is it just Emu, or is it just Gunko? And I said, no, I don't see why it would just be Gunko. I was fucking wrong, okay? Yeah. Because I saw a video by a sick One Piece channel called One Piece Explained. They just went on details. They don't really have an agenda or anything, or like theory. They're just a sick, factual One Piece channel. And they said that they pointed out that last chapter, the beginning of that transformation started from Gunko's right eye. And I know we can't see it here because her eyes are Emu's eyes now, but Gunko has discolored eyes. One of the eyes is black, and it's that right one. So it seems that it really is something between Emu and Gunko, maybe some sort of thing that was special from compared to the other ones that eye signifies. Anyway, so the fact that Brook is tied with Gunko, who's tied with Emu, and they wanted to summon Satan and got Brook, and Emu has biblical Satan vibes. I just think it's such an interesting web, and yeah, those are all my details about this whatever's going on with Emu right now.
Yeah.
I don't really have any conclusions, but there's a lot of biblical Satan stuff, black magic books, and all that.
So does that mean that, like, would you suspect that means that the possession thing is probably only with Gunko? Not probably. Emu can't just do that with anybody?
Yes, I think that's because again, it started from that right eye of hers, and no one else has anything like that. And we saw it with Gunko, right? So I was wrong last chapter to say that he probably can do with all the Gorosei. He probably can't.
I don't know. I still think it's a possibility. Only because Killingham looks fucking scared. Like, what if this motherfucker does that to me?
But also, he could be scared because of what happened to Saturn, right? What does
I ain't gonna lie. A giant demon girl with wings and a trident comes out the sky, spewing conquerors honky across the land. I'm gonna be a little scared too, even if that is my boss. I'm not gonna lie. That's a scary sight.
My actual conclusion about all this is that I think Emu Neurona is not I think Emu Neurona, the Sexual Dragon from 900 years ago, one of the 20 kings. I think they were taken over by this devil stuff. This evil shit. I think they were taken over, and that's the person talking, this demon, from 900 years ago. That's my real theory.
It's possible.
Also, we got confirmation now that I'm sure nobody was like thinking otherwise, but still though, it's confirmation that Emu got Conqueror's Haki, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I never doubted that. I mean,
especially when the fucking shepherd was walking around knocking out all the snails at Egghead. But yeah, this is confirmation. Also, it's crazy Conqueror's Haki. It's not just Conqueror's Haki.
This is on the Joy Boy level. Yeah, this is literally the same. It's covering the entire island. Definitely scary stuff. Let me real quick. I did see something really cool on Twitter. Oda being the foreshadowing master that he is once again. Going back to an Impel Down panel. I believe this was one of. I'm not sure what the character is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if this was one of the security guards at Impel Down, if this is one of the prisoners, or one of the people hiding in between the levels. But they talk about how once in a while prisoners go missing from Impel Down. It's clear they haven't escaped. There are prisoners who aren't able to move, but suddenly they're gone, and they call it the Demon's Invitation. And we get a panel of a demon-like figure taking away these prisoners.
What the hell?
Dude,
Yeah, this is apparently a throwaway panel from one of the Impel Down chapters.
So when I saw that initially during Impel Down, I thought it was the fact that the prisoners were being taken by Ivankov. That's how I took it at the time. You know what I mean? But now that all this demon stuff, devil stuff is popping up, it's definitely plausible.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Because
Yeah, that's
remember,
hard to tell.
none of the people from Impel Down knew about
The floor in between.
Ivankov. Yeah,
Low
Ivankov.
5.5.
What was it?
Yeah.
4.5?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
5.5.
Yeah. So like, I feel like that's where all these people were going. But if fucking Emu has been having people turn into demons and making an army this whole time, then that's a whole other level.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
it's
there's no
crazy.
real way because it could go either way, to be honest.
Yeah, I want to reread Impel Down and see if like there's more allusions to, because I think I agree with Mister. I feel like that's what that makes the most sense of, just because they're talking about how like they didn't even, because they call what's that guy's name, the Golden Line Shiki, the only person to escape from Impel Down, but morally the giant in the Revolutionary they didn't know. So I think it's more what this is, but I want to reread it and make sure. But this could be something related.
Yeah,
Actually,
something to take note of.
all the horn stuff, these devils having horns, makes me think of the ancient giants. The fact that Dorian Brog got so much bigger,
Yep.
I find that very
That's why
interesting.
Loki might be that size to fight them.
Yes,
I
yeah,
don't
they're probably ancient
want
giants.
to say
Yeah.
for certain, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because we do know people in that aren't giants that have horns, right? Like Kaido, Yamato, Black Maria, and they are big people. So it just makes me think that we did talk about there could be ancient giant descendants or stuff like that. But I just wonder like where the fuck did the ancient giants get the horns from in the first place? Because could it be with some sort of like connection with these devils or demons that this power is from? I don't know. I just think it's interesting that giving these giants the devil power gave them horns. I just thought it was interesting.
Could Loki have been
Yeah.
transformed prior to his imprisonment?
I mean, they said he was. They said he got the ancient giant blood from his dad, right?
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's what they said. All right,
That's
yo,
what they
you're spinning
said.
right now. Bro. You
That is what
can't,
they
you,
said.
you can't just take things at their word. You're spinning, bro. You're spinning.
That's definitely not. I'm not sold on it, but it's something to think about, I guess.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any idea how this is all going to get resolved? Because looking at this panel, plus Emu, in the vicinity and everything, I honestly don't know what.
Well, I said from the
happen.
jump, I don't think everything is getting resolved. I'm dying on that
Oh,
hill.
yeah, you
I'm
did
dying
say
on that
that.
hill. I don't think everything is getting resolved by the end of this arc. That's my take.
Now I'm okay with it though, because if no kids get kidnapped and let's say they got snatched
Oh,
up,
the kids are
because they're-
safe, so everything's okay. All right, man.
No,
All right,
because
buddy.
you can kind of leave them on a unfinished note. You can leave
Oh,
them
I see
like
what you
that.
mean.
Yeah, kids is kind of like an immediate
fucking
immediate
kids,
response
man.
needs to
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
You can't
yeah.
just leave that. You can't be like, oh, the kids are gone. Oh well, we'll address it like two arcs down the line when we go to Marysville. Like, no, you can't leave
Man,
that.
fuck them
Like,
kids, man. Fuck
you
them
can
kids.
kind of do that with them though. Like, you can kind of do that with them.
Yeah,
If they,
we'll
if
free
Emu
you from this
snatches
before
them,
it's over.
yeah, like
Um,
Emu snatches them, I like that would be bad. Don't get me wrong, but like they can kind of get leeway with like, going to some other arcs or whatever. Because I mean, I don't, like Mr. pointed out, like we are at the end game, but I don't know how many more arcs there are. So I don't think Marriage-Wa is like the next one. At least I don't think so. It could be, but I don't think it is. So
Yeah.
I am going to guess that like if they were to get taken, it wouldn't be addressed like right away.
Well, we also know that they're not getting taken though, right? Because we know that Emu wants them to stay here and rule.
This is what they wanted.
Yeah, but I'm saying like for whatever purposes, for like their war or marriage, I don't know what, like I don't know if they're gonna always stay, you know what I mean, like right there. Especially since we already got allusions to Scapa Caban saying that Elbaph, if Elbaph is still intact, come see me. I don't think that's lost. So if Elbaph is like quite literally destroyed or in a place
safe.
where it's not habitable, then you know, they going somewhere else, or at least some of their forces are. Not all of them, but some of
Damn,
them.
it's almost like I said something like that when I said the kids would get kidnapped. That's so crazy. Wowee.
Yeah, but you were talking about them literally like a magic circle going below the kids and then poofing to Mary Joie. That's what we were talking about.
I had the right idea. I was just on the wrong train of thought. You feel me? I was on the wrong tracks. I was going to the right destination. I was on the wrong tracks. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I never said you were wrong for that whole thing. By the way, I'm saying like the kids part is the part where I'm I don't know about that.
But that's why I wanted to try and take my credit earlier, right? Because if things work out in Emu's favor right now, then Dory and Bragi stay here, reign over Elbaph as the kings, and Luffy and the crew are in the exact predicament that I said they would be in last episode, where niggas are out to get them, and now they have to move around the island and do what they got to do under scrutiny.
Bro,
but this is a way better way than the way. I mean, you overall. I'll say this. Overall, you were right.
Thank you. Thank you. We good.
Like,
all right, that's the
You
episode.
it's not over. What do you mean he's right? It's not
Guys,
over.
thank you for sure I sit down today, guys. It's been appreciated.
True. I'm sorry, White
Bro, we're giving up, bro.
I am sorry. I am saying that like it is legit.
That's my only highlight, bro.
Don't do that, Mod. Come on, bro.
No. White Huss got a point. It's not like it's literally over. It's not.
My nigga's not even do one thing. He's like, oh, GG's, wrap it up, nigga. We can't beat Dory Bragi, bro. Like,
It's done.
No, I do think I think that it is possible, but I'm not concrete. Like you guys said, it is possible that Luffy comes, or whatever third entity comes, and everything does get resolved.
My nigga, I'm sorry. This nigga is the sun god, bro. This is Straw Hat Luffy. We're not losing.
That is Loki D. Luffy. That's Loki D. Luffy.
We're not losing, bro.
I'm not losing faith. It's just I'm saying like I'm saying like if Callie's thing is
He got Straw Hat.
Hey, I'm the tactical Straw Hat. We go and fight another day.
You were Shanks. Yeah, you had it with Shanks. No, you meant Shanks.
On the Luffy, Unga Bunga, baby, head first.
My thing is too though that Emu gives up. We agree that Emu is looking like final boss in this arc, right? Do you guys see Luffy taking out Emu in this arc?
No, but also it's not Emu. It's Emu Gunko.
Yeah.
So you see Luffy taking out Emu Gunko.
Again, honestly, he might not be strong enough, but they might do some. They're gonna do some stupid like the connection's gonna weaken because Brook is talking to Gunko, and you know what I mean. Like, I think Gunko's gonna fight it
because that was one of the issues that you had before, was that you would feel like because they took an L on Elbaph, that if Luffy doesn't, I guess not single-handedly, but if the Shreds don't win with authority,
they get lucky in every arc.
Yeah, okay. That was the point that I was making. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys.
Again, my point isn't that I would feel like Luffy I wouldn't feel like Luffy's a Yonko anymore. I would just feel. I was gonna say I would be surprised if Oda would let Luffy and the Straw Hats like 2 consecutive arcs where it's like the main goal kind of didn't happen. Especially like this would be such an L. And again, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like Elbaph is so open to possibilities. Again, I feel like I said, I feel like One Piece has become more and more unpredictable. That I just feel like, obviously, kind of like I said last chapter, that's entirely possible. And like we said, we now have precedent for them kind of losing an arc, and having to be saved really, really hard, even in the post time skip. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many more things that are gonna happen. I truly feel like Shanks might come back. The secret. We still, it's another thing that we have all forgotten about. Why can't you stay on Elbaph for like why don't you overstay the welcome? Right. That's what narrator said. Or
how much time has passed?
Louis Arnault said, yeah, exactly. That there was that whole time thing. I feel like there's so much more than I don't feel like Emu Gunko is gonna pull up and just like, oh yeah, you guys lost, goodbye.
That's fair. We still have a whole section of Elbaph we have absolutely zero idea about. Yeah, at the heaven area.
Loki's about this. We have literally no one's even said a word about that shit. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, there's so much left.
No, there's. I will say one thing that I thought was pretty cool was after Dory got turned, like we saw his hand blown off, but he still has his hand.
Yes.
Like it's like he's still able to use it. It's like connected, but there's you still see the where he got shot off, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
That is actually really cool. Is it like regenerating or is it just floating there permanently?
I think it's just
floating.
Yeah.
It's
no,
just
it's
floating.
actually mad cool. What the fuck?
I find it interesting because there was a line that Imu said that wasn't very TCB, and it was that when she turned Broggy into the thing, she was like, yeah, in exchange for some measure of your lifespan, you will receive an undying body, uncanny strength. It's kind of crazy that like she basically just said, yeah, I'm gonna take years off your life, my dog. But you're gonna be strong as hell. I just think it's just that's not something she could just do. Emu's fucking nuts, man. Oh my god, it's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, nah, Emu's scary, man. No break next week either, so we get to see.
Let's go.
Yeah, hallelujah. And I'm pretty sure that that's 3 in a row, so we're probably getting a break after next week. But I'm here for it because that normally means he's gonna end on some shit. He's gonna end break week on some shit.
Yeah, Luffy popping up next chapter.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The Giants are finally gonna see Luffy Gear 5 action, bro.
I don't think we've seen Luffy in like 5 chapters.
No, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's rough.
That's true. At least 3.
Yeah.
At least, 3 to 5, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We just gotta see. We gotta see. Any last questions, comments, concerns, fellas? We went over a lot today. This is a pretty crazy episode. I can't lie. We got a lot to talk about. All right, much love to everybody that hung out with us today. We appreciate all you guys that hang out with us live. If you're not, make sure you guys check us out every Sunday, twitch.tv/Cali_Mac or YouTube at Straw Hat Sit Down every Sunday, 12 p.m. Come kick it with us. Always looking to talk and discuss. Shouts to everybody that's listening to this after the fact on YouTube, Apple Pod, Spotify Pod, etc. We appreciate you guys as well. Make sure you guys follow us on all our socials at Straw Hat Sit Down on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. You look for us, you will find us. Yeah, no break next week, so we will be back next Sunday with another chapter review. I'm actually anxious now. I'm looking forward to this chapter. I'm gonna have to delete Twitter for the week because I refuse to be spoiled.
Real.
Yeah, it's getting hard now. It's getting hard.
I turned off notifications for Twitter because of it. Because I was getting notified. I was like, nah.
Yo, and fuck Elon Musk, bro, real quick, because this guy pisses me off, dude. Because yo, why did he introduce a new AI trending category?
Oh yes,
so
yes.
AI goes off of the things that you like and you search and stuff, and it gives you AI trending topics. So when the chapter drops, it'll be AI trending topic, a new chapter of One Piece. Gaban just killed Summers, and it'll literally tell me what the fuck, like the main point of the chapter in that shit. I got spoiled like a few weeks ago from that shit. So yeah, fuck Elon. I need to get that off my chest. I ain't gonna lie.
This is why I stay off X.
Yeah, nah, I can't do that. The memes are too broken. I can't
you gotta dead name it. You gotta say Twitter.
Oh yeah, Twitter. Right.
Yeah.
I can't let that name. That name change get to me. It gotta resist.
We gotta win at least one thing. Bro.
That's real. That's real. Exactly. That's real. Fight the power, man.
But the point still stands. Stay off of Twitter.
Yeah.
You're spitting though. You're so spitting.
Thank God we got the group chat and we got people that let me know when the chapter is a crazy chapter, so I know to really lock in and avoid spoilers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's stupid. True. It's stupid. It'd be like that though. Such is the life of a manga reader. All right, that's it for us, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Much love to all you guys hung out with us. Until next time, you guys, take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat Sit Down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Straw Hat Sit Down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Straw Hat Sit Down crew in the building. We promote to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's wild huss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that One Piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are.